Hi. Hello. Hi. I just wanted to give a brief update. Um, I have a tremendous backlog, so I figured a temporary solution to that would be to upload some full commentary videos onto my Patreon. This should be an assortment of movies that I will eventually cover on the channel, as well as some films that I think, while they warrant discussion, aren't in terms of my feelings about them, or the the videos that I recorded for them don't warrant the work necessary to make a full video on them. So if you're interested, available on my Patreon will be full commentary videos for The Woman in the Window, Fritz Lang film from 1944, Emma, the Paulo Lorraine film from 2019. Paulo Lorraine's the director of Spencer and also Jackie. A Girl's Sleep, 2015 Australian surreal coming of age film. What else was on there? Yes. A Bitter Rice, Rizzo Amato, an Italian neorealist gangster film from 1955, as well as 2019's Portrait of a Lady on Fire, a film by Celine Sciamma. I promise I'll eventually have a video of that for public consumption, but at the moment it's just way too big of a project to try and tackle with some other deadlines that I've set for myself. I'll also probably have a video up for Petite Maman on the Patreon, because I don't know when it'll have a release date set in the US. So I'll finish the video on that and I'll upload it to the Patreon, but I probably won't make that video public until Petite Maman finds American distribution. I'm also thinking of starting a series on my Patreon. I give it a really bad name. It's called It's My First Time Senpai, and it's a series on first narrative features by famous directors. I it would amaze you how many of directors' debut features I haven't seen. The list includes Stanley Kubrick's Fear and Desire, Jane Campion's Sweetie, Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets. I have seen Mean Streets, but I'm willing to watch it again. Wes Anderson's Bottle Rocket. A lot of movies. A lot of movies. So yeah, that's the basic gist for Patreon videos. I just have so many videos that I've recorded that I don't have the time to edit right now. And so hopefully they'll be funneled onto the Patreon for a little while before they get onto Pillbox Movies. In terms of the deadline stuff, I actually wanted to bring this question up to you because I have so many ideas, projects that I've half started, projects that I plan to start, projects that I'm in the process of completing. And I kind of wanted to get a gauge of the kind of stuff that you guys would be interested in seeing. Obviously, I've been working on the short series slash long film of Jane Campion's An Angel at My Table. I wanted to kind of culminate that series in conjunction with the Netflix release of Power of the Dog. So hopefully I'll have a video out by the time that film gets released. I also wanted to treat Power of the Dog as a kind of in a kind of spiritual trilogy on films that kind of deal with that kind of take an approach to lighting, to indoor lighting with a lot of shadow and natural lights that would that seems interesting to me, but I'm not. It's one of those things where I don't know if people would be interested in it. Basically, it'll be called the Dark Trilogy, and it will comprise of The Power of the Dog, Everlasting Moments, a Swedish film from 2008, and the Robert Altman film McCabe and Mrs. Miller. So if that's something you're interested in for December, let me know. I also had an idea of a trilogy of Italian films. Don't think I'll end up doing that one. I have them recorded already, and one of them I'm definitely going to do for December. I also want to do a spiritual film for December. I think it's really good and really profound, but I also I want to get out of the video on Crash, the video on Red River. Jesus Christ, I recorded that in July. And I wanted to start a series on Anna Karenina adaptations. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, because I do want to get a head start on that, but I don't know. It's so hard to gauge. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you would prefer. If you would like dark 19th century films a la Power of the Dog. Well, Power of the Dog takes place in the 1920s, but whatever. Everlasting Moments. That also takes place in the 1900s. Whatever. And McCabe and Mrs. Miller. Or if you would prefer Anna Karenina. Or if you would prefer spiritual European films. I'm trying to be purposely vague about that. There's no need to be vague. If you're interested in seeing videos on Ordet and on Girl with the Hyacinths, those are really great films that nobody's seen, and I'm really passionate about them. But I'm passionate about all of them. They were all my sons. Yeah, I have a huge backlog. Check out my Patreon if you'd like. And yeah, I'd love it if you'd support the Patreon. It's a good opportunity to see a lot of the stuff that I just don't have the time to get to right now. For the forefront of which being the full-length commentary on Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Portrait of a Lady on Fire was the first Celine Sciamma film I saw back in 2019, and I hadn't watched it since then. And yeah, I had a lot of things to say about it after 2 years of sitting on it and watching all of Celine Sciamma's other stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in that sort of stuff, support the Patreon, become a patron. Let me know in the comments down below what you'd be interested in seeing, and in the meanwhile, keep watching good movies. Oh, also, I broke my glasses. I'm kind of pissed.